What's up, guys? Another episode of the ShutterBugs podcast. Every week, as our goal has been reached for the most part, we are without a co-host today, sadly. But I am joined by my one and only co-host right now, Alex. Alex, how are you?
Hey, you already know who it is.
Good stuff. How are you? How was your past week?
It was good, just
Good.
trying to survive. No, I'm joking. I live in a wasteland. I've been playing too much Fallout. I've been good, just chilling.
Awesome.
That's pretty much it.
Good stuff.
How about you?
Yeah, I finished the custom, which was like my main kind of project of
My custom.
Your Yep. I think I finished that on Sunday, maybe Monday. So that was my main project of all of last week, kind of stepping a little bit into this week. And so now that that's been done, I've been slowly trying to get back into shooting, and yeah, that's mainly it. So yeah, let's see. I guess we got pickups coming up. What did you get this past week, Alex?
Well, I got my Anakin in the Clone Wars.
Awesome.
Anakin.
Yep.
Haven't been able to shoot him just because that hasn't been working for most things. But I did paint him up. I like how the paint turned it out.
Nice.
What the heck? Turned out.
Turned it out.
I liked how the battle damage came out and stuff like that on his armor. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that figure. It's funny. He and Obi-Wan have like different pros and different cons.
Mm-hmm.
Like Anakin has the cloth or his, skirt, tunic, robes, whatever you want to call it. So that helps a little bit. I know that there's still the plastic, but it helps a little bit when posing. He also feels a little sturdier to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I like his paint job is a little bit better to me. But everything else, articulation goes to Obi-Wan, the head and neck articulation is a little bit better on Obi-Wan as opposed to Anakin. Both still are very good, though. Like, Hasbro is starting to figure the neck peg situation out very nice. It's working pretty good. The biggest thing that irritates me on Anakin,
Mm-hmm.
and I know for a lot of people it's the wrist, but for me it's the elbows.
Interesting.
There's not as good range in the elbows, but also the joint seems a little low on it.
Interesting.
But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to get that Anakin because it's the Clone Wars look, but I'm so like content with the SHF, and I don't see myself shooting the Clone Wars one like all the time. That I don't. And the SHF has so many different facial expressions. He's got the neutral. He's got like the Sith eyes, the yelling. Like I just don't know if I would ever use, I guess, as often the Clone Wars look. It would be awesome if I could switch like the head sculpt maybe on, so I could have like more emoted faces.
People's biggest regret with that is pet peeve. On the Anakin is the head. Yeah. I actually think the face is fine for the most part. It's a little bland. They didn't do the hair well enough to me. I think that's the biggest issue. I would have been fine if they just did like the Revenge of the Sith length, instead of the early Clone Wars length. But I think that's like the main problem with the head. But a lot of people want to change it, and I can see why owning it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. The Clone Wars, the early Clone Wars look is my favorite look for Anakin, just because I like the idea of Jedi wearing armor. So I really enjoyed that one.
Awesome, cool. Is that it?
Well, today I'm hoping that it doesn't get canceled, but I pre-ordered a Cobra Viper.
Nice.
Which was one that I really could never find. Like, that's probably the hardest one to get, I think.
Well, did you also see the Baroness went up too?
Yeah, the Baroness is like way too rich for my blood. I don't really need the bike.
Yeah, true.
But that was probably the second hardest for people to find.
Yeah, for sure.
But if my order doesn't get canceled, because I see people already are getting theirs canceled, I'm like, please not me.
Oh God.
That would be nice, just because I really wanted that figure because it looks cool to me. I want to fill out the Cobra stuff just a little bit more because, like I've said before, once they do like one or two more villains, I'm pretty much chill on the villains. So it'd be nice to just kind of have it all, and then that'll be done.
Yeah, it's funny.
But I'm hoping that does come in because that'll be exciting. I'd love to paint that up and stuff, and I think that would be easy to shoot as opposed to Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, true. Well,
that's
awesome.
Pretty much it. I was hoping I was going to be able to talk about Echo this week, but
no. It's okay. Your time, it'll come eventually.
Echo so bad.
I know, but it's alright.
But what about you? Did you pick up anything this week?
Let me think. I don't think so. Yes. So one thing I talked about last week, but it hadn't come yet. In fact, I don't even know if it had shipped yet. Was the Adrian Beltran neutral beast head? Yeah. Bug uses it a lot. It was pretty famous for a little bit when Beast had just come out, and people were like, "Okay, why did we get like such an expressive head and nothing to pair it with? Like no, neutral head." So I got that in. I swapped it yesterday finally, and it looks really good. Super happy about that. Now I have that head, the stock head, and then technically the Toy Biz. Just my problem with the Toy Biz is the paint didn't match really that well, so I never really shot it up close at all because it had to be far back, and the light kind of had to be favoring like that blend of colors, so that way it wasn't super easy to tell. So I'm happy that I finally have that, although I would like some bigger glasses to go with him too. Like the head sculpt you have is like perfect for that too.
I was glad that worked out because I didn't know if that was going to look good on the body, so I was glad that worked out.
Yeah, it was perfect.
And that's such a random Beast figure that it's on. It's like Techno Beast. He has like a weird jumpsuit on. It looks so weird.
Yeah, so anyway, that worked out well, and then I think besides, you could call it kind of something I got because now it's finished and I can use it whenever, like the custom's complete. But other than that, I don't think I've gotten anything. Just because there's been stuff coming out, sure, but nothing that's really caught my eye. Like, again, I don't collect Joes or Rangers, and so in terms of Legends and Black Series, like my main domestic stuff I'm collecting, and Mezco, I guess, I've been mainly sitting out because I was caught up on Black Series. They're now releasing a wave in stores. It's the Aura Sing Tech Wrecker wave, I believe, like that kind of wave. Wrecker might not be a part of that wave, but it's street dated, I heard, for I think August 1st or like something like that. So any Target or Walmart getting them is like holding on to them pretty well, and only some are getting them this early. So I went hunting like 2 days ago and they had nothing, so I'm pretty chill on that. And then for Legends, I don't think much that's come out that I haven't been caught up on. The Villains wave was the last thing I remember that's like dropped in full scale and I've collected, and the Netflix wave, I guess, which was kind of in tandem. But that's really it. And I see remnants of House of X, of Shang-Chi, and some villain and Netflix stuff in stores.
Shang-Chi everywhere.
Yeah, Shang-Chi's really slept on, and I think it's because the trailers haven't kept everyone's interest, but I know for a fact when that movie drops and people see it, those characters are gonna start raising in price on Amazon and everywhere else because people are actually gonna start buying them because they now know like who the character is, what movies, like what he's capable of, who he's gonna be paired with. Like once that realization hits for people who only watch obviously the movies and don't really know about the character, then they'll backtrack for sure.
Yeah, I want those, but I'm slow rolling them just
and
because,
that's exactly how I am.
The MCU figures, most of the time you can just wait and they'll be like $10 on Amazon like one day. Like, you know what I mean? So like I'm just like waiting for that because I want them, but I don't necessarily need them.
And that's how I feel.
So I'm just waiting for that $11 price drop on Walmart or something, and then I can just go get it.
Exactly. So
yeah, I feel you on the releases. There's been stuff coming out, it's not like super urgent to me other than when Blood dropped, the Clone Wars stuff, and then that's pretty much it. Because I hope that the Iron Man stuff stays around for a while because it seems like the Villains wave is generally staying around.
Yeah, I think so. So far.
So I'm hoping I can just kind of slow roll those. I only need like 3 from the Iron Man wave. I want Ultron. I want the I forget what the name of the armor is right now.
Oh, I
And
forget about that wave. There's Ironheart in that wave and all of that. Yeah,
yeah,
that is something I
yeah, I
actually am
definitely
looking
want
for.
Ironheart and Ultron the most, so I definitely need those.
Yeah.
But I don't need the whole thing. So with Legends, I'm kind of like slow rolling them a little bit because after getting Red Skull, I'm like, okay, I can let those breathe. The Black Series and Joe stuff is like extremely hard. The Black Series is really hard over here. You don't see nothing over here. So yeah, I've just been slow rolling Legends, so I feel you on that.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's definitely something I'm looking for that I didn't think about, but now I know. So I'll be slowly looking for that. But it has been nice on multiple levels to like not have to, go hunting or just even buy things and like focus on shooting or building or projects like that. Those times come pretty rare now in our current age of figures because companies are just
Right.
releasing stuff one after the other. So it has been a nice kind of slower couple weeks that I've been able to
Yeah,
catch
I'm
up on
glad.
stuff.
I'm thinking they're coming out of the pandemic stuff, so they're able to space it a little bit more. Like, the beginning of this year, it was like everything is dropping right now because we couldn't drop it before. So it's nice to have the space.
Exactly. Cool. Okay, well that's it for me. You want to get into binges?
Yeah. So did you see the Loki episode?
I
'Cause I watched
did.
that.
I did.
Um, I don't want to spoil anything. I really enjoyed it. There was a character I actually enjoyed seeing. Some cool Easter eggs and stuff.
Yep.
So is there only one more left? I think there's only
Yep.
one
I
more
looked
left.
it up last night because I'm like, okay, if this is what's going on, I feel like we're definitely at some sort of conclusion or coming up on it. And so I looked it up, and it's 6 episodes total, and that was episode 5. So
I'm really hoping that the next one is really good. Because to me, this can all fall apart.
Yeah.
As good as it is, if the ending is like a dud, or just like something revealed that's like totally bland. So I'm really hoping that it ends well because I've been enjoying it. I also, what else did I see? I felt like I watched something else. I can't even remember right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think as far as the major stuff that I've been binging. I could have sworn I saw something else, but I can't remember what it is. How about you?
Well, Loki, Bad Batch are like the main shows that I've been watching. Let's see. The only other thing I'd probably add to that list, because again, most of my time last week was consumed by work on a project. I finished after like 2 or 3 days. I read Crisis on Infinite Earths.
How'd you like it?
It was great, long as you know what, but it was great. Like I did not realize how long it was and how long it'd keep going for. I mean, the book is like almost 400 pages, which is just insane. And it's just, I mean, this isn't really spoiling anything, but the anti-monitor just won't die like ever.
Yeah.
And like I'd seen the CW version of it, which is now in comparison is just meh, if best, like kind of
Meh, only meh.
I'd say blah. Like it's not that good. Well, in comparison, it's not good at all. But when I saw it, I was like, okay, this is a okay crossover for the CW. To be clear,
Right.
out of all theirs. But anyway, no, I read it, and it's just out of every second he just kept coming back, and I was like, oh my god, I thought it was over, and it just keeps going on. So, but it was good, and it was really interesting to see like an older book like highlighting such a large event that literally changed like the whole DC universe from what it was like completely. So it was a really cool thing to read and like experience, and now like have that kind of in my catalog comics I've read, because again, it's a pretty big thing. I mean, it was almost a year long, I believe, like in writing, and each trade coming out, I guess, or book. So yeah, issue. There we go. Thank you. So it was good, but that took up a lot of my time because again, before this, I'd been reading smaller trades. I wouldn't say small by any means, but smaller. I mean, even Dark Phoenix Saga made that like look like a picture book in comparison. Like it was crazy. And Spider-Man Blue and all that stuff was like way smaller, even though I thought it was just longer. Because obviously they're trades, but yeah, it opened my eyes reading such a big book, but it was good. So
Yeah, that's Crisis is one I have to reread. It's been so long since I read
Yeah.
that. I remember it like blew my mind when I read it. Like it's funny. There were DC comics that when I first read them, they like blew my mind in ways that the Marvel ones did. But that's just kind of how it is with DC for me. I like the Marvel runs more. I like the DC, like regular stories more. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, it was definitely
I'm
crazy.
interested to see your thoughts on Watchmen whenever you read that.
I will be getting around to it for sure. Again, I'm making my way through that list.
That one, I think that's 11 issues. It's pretty. It can get pretty lengthy, but that one is ridiculously good.
Good to know. Yeah, I'll pace myself a little bit more with that one. That way, I enjoy it a little bit more. Not to say I didn't enjoy Crisis at all, because I actually loved it. But there came to a point where I felt like I was so close to finishing it. I'm like, I'll just stay another 30 minutes and finish it. And then the anti-monitor would come back, and I'd be like, are you joking me? I thought I was finishing it. And so that it kept coming. And so it didn't, I wouldn't say stunt my enjoyment too much at all. In fact, I still really liked it, but I think I should have paced it a little bit more, because I felt like it was the same, even though it wasn't. It was going to be a similar length to other trades, even like Dark Phoenix, and it definitely was not. So
yeah,
learn my lesson.
Yeah, definitely pace Watchmen a little bit, because there's some, at least for me, there was some stuff that I needed to like digest it a little bit. Not like it was deep. It was just like, okay, so let me piece this together.
Yeah.
And then once you couple that with the show, it's like, bro, the show is like the one example where I wish Alan Moore watched his adaptions of his stuff. I wish he wasn't so crazy. I'm a wizard, like that. But yeah, that's a pretty lengthy one, but it's pretty good. I really like the art too. But yeah, I'm glad you like Crisis. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
I'm definitely also interested in seeing how you like Kingdom Come, because that's one of my favorites. I've talked about that so many times.
And that's also on the list. I'm definitely making my way through the list. That's like the whole goal. That is my end. Like that is where I'm starting and ending. And stuff I've like bought or got as gifts. Like I know Finn, I think, got me Avengers vs. X-Men. You got me Daredevil trade as well, and I haven't read those yet, just because I've been doing a lot of online reading first. Even though I do own Crisis, I read that actual like paper format, but. Yeah, so I'm doing the list and then some little stuff off the list that have been either recommended by like Brian or just you guys have got me. But once that's done, then I'll branch out. But yeah, I'm slowly working my way down that, and actually going pretty quick. I've got quite a bit done, so hopefully that will continue.
Yeah, and definitely check out those that Finn and I recommended that aren't Marvel and DC, just so that way you have
of course,
like some variety.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because especially Criminal, that Brew Baker, that book is excellent, but it was really inspiring to me just because it's pretty normal.
Yeah.
Like it's just a crime book, but like it's pretty normal. It's always nice to have like those refreshing stories. But yeah, I'm glad you've had the time to read more, because it can definitely be very inspiring.
Exactly, and that's like I didn't read it all during the custom, just because similarly to you, I didn't want to like while you're doing your stories, I didn't want to have my creativity stunted by like reading like a Spider-Man story and be like, you know what, I don't feel like working on a Star Wars custom anymore. I just want to shoot Spider-Man or work on a Spider-Man custom, and then losing that inspiration. So I'd watch Bad Batch, but and in kind of Loki, because Loki didn't give me too much inspiration for shooting. But I was not going to read until I was fully done. That way I didn't get... Because the reading does give me tons of inspiration. Panels to recreate, poses to, try out. Like, it is... If you are ever in a creative slump, I would suggest reading trades and comic books, because it will definitely open your eyes and kind of get you shooting again. So that's why I didn't, is I was like, I don't need that. I need to focus on this. I don't need that distraction. I don't need that, stunting my creativity here. I didn't want it to basically become like, oh, I have to finish this. I want it to be like, I want to finish this. I like working on it. I want to make it look as best I can, versus I want to rush this so it's done and I can get it over with and start shooting again. So I held off from reading until now, and Christ, this was the first book back. What a book back. And now I can kind of simmer down and start reading some smaller but really good trades as well. So
yeah, that's part of it. That's part of my current problem with writing some of this Doom World stuff is that I've like read most of what I need to read. Mm-hmm. So it's like I'm not getting the constant inspiration that I was getting in the first few months. Like Doom doesn't have that many solo stories. Like, well, he has like 3 solo stories, but I mean like definitive kind of stories.
Yeah.
You know, not anything that's like a throwaway. He doesn't actually have that many. And you know, if you're reading all of them, you know, months at a time, eventually you just kind of run out. So that's been a bit of a challenge. But yeah, I totally feel you on that. It can definitely be helpful to creative processes.
Yep. Okay, cool. There goes our binges. Now we are on to toy news. As you can see with our fancy dancy topics list on your left side.
Fancy dancy. That's terrible.
Thank you. So should we talk?
I do not associate myself with fancy dancing.
Oh my god, this guy. Should we talk about the Spider-Man No Way Home stuff that was leaked or no? What do you think?
I hate Iron Spider.
I guess we'll pull it up and you guys can decide for yourself.
We can talk about it.
This is the first thing. Here, I'll share my screen with you as well, just so you can see this.
Okay, sweet.
There we go. All right.
So first off, I want this just because it's a suit body. I'm addicted to suited bodies.
Yep.
It's the J. Jonah Jameson figure. I like it. I really like the likeness of J.K. Simmons. I think they did a great job. I'm not the biggest fan of balding Jameson. I kind of would have liked a one with hair.
Yeah.
But it looks cool to me. I like the suited body and stuff. So
I completely agree. It's like it's not my favorite J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson look out of his 2, but you know it works and the only thing I'm worried about is having this as a suited body is the obviously button done. I mean, this is definitely not going to be like any street kind of thug you can shoot because he's not going to be able to pose well. This will be just someone to stand by Kingpin or like, you know, he's definitely going to be more of like a professional suited body versus one in active, you know, fighting or combat or whatever. So still looks good, and I still think there's going to be heads and people that can swap onto this and look good. I just don't think this is going to be one where, like, you can couple it in, like, an alley with other figures, you know, fighting Spider-Man or Daredevil or whatever. But it looks good for sure. Next, we got this, and I am pissed. And I'll tell you why. We have gotten, like, 5 Doctor Strange movie versions, all looking the exact same, and we have not gotten one true comic book Doctor Strange in so long. So long.
That's what I don't get. I don't understand. I would understand them making, you know, this amount of Doctor Strange movie figures if he had different outfits, but it's the same. It's the same outfit practically. So I don't understand why we've gotten so many.
Exactly. And
the likeness has never improved.
Exactly. I think it's improved since the very, very first one, like the first movie one, because that one like sucked so badly. I actually kind of want to pull it up real quick. Doctor Strange Marvel Legend movie. Okay. Just so you can see the comparison, ladies and gentlemen, in head sculpts. There we go. This is kind of his first one. So it has improved since then, I will not lie. But not enough to justify a 5th release. Like this, I think the second one that was ever released, or maybe the third one, was from the Doctor Strange 3-pack with Iron Man and Thanos from Infinity War. And this looks like the exact same figure, no changes. Maybe besides the effects, if that. So this is like
I don't
nothing.
Get it. I mean,
the outfit's not even different.
Right. If you want to make a different version of the MCU characters a whole bunch, that's fine. That doesn't necessarily mean I need to get it. But why is it like the same? Like he looks the same.
Exactly. It's
I
so
don't get
annoying.
That.
Exactly.
Like,
and not even a cloth
Iron
cape.
Man we've gotten, they have different armors.
Exactly.
Caps have different suits, but this is literally the same outfits.
Yes.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
Do we know if this is going to be single carded or like if this is
no? This is I think in a wave. I'm pretty sure this is all in a wave together. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100%. But oh god, I hate this figure. Another picture. There we go. Okay, so this is the one that has people up in arms, and this is theoretically. Now, I'm going to say this before we talk about this. Marvel is very much known for releasing figures before the movie or the trailer comes out just based on concept art or what they're given, and then basically messing up and having to re-up a re-release in the future or in the next wave to kind of correct their mistakes. This happened with the first ever Iron Spider we got. This has happened with multiple other figures that Legends has released. So this could not be what we see. This could be concept art. Now, however, people think that it could be the real deal, and it very well could be, and are kind of upset that we're getting another Iron Spider-esque gold accent Spider-Man suit versus our traditional either black and red we got in Far From Home or our blue and red from Homecoming. What do you think about this, Alex?
So, number one, I don't really need the figure. I don't have any Tom Holland Spider-Man figures, but I mean, it looks fine aside from the unpainted web lines.
That's what I was going to say.
Understand.
Yep.
That's so weird.
Even a black wash would be perfect for those. Like, it's a pretty easy thing to do. Yeah.
The only thing I'm not up in arms about the suit because we don't know the context yet.
Yeah.
I mean, even beyond the concept art, let's just say he actually does wear this. We don't know why he's wearing this yet. If for all we know, this could just be one scene. Like, we got a whole Hawkeye Ronin figure. Yeah. And, like, how long did he wear that?
Exactly.
Like, for, like, 10 minutes. Like, I don't understand why people are that frustrated when we don't know yet. I mean, be frustrated if he's wearing this the whole movie. Okay, yeah, I'd like to see him wear a regular suit, but we don't know. And considering that there's another suit, it's like, we don't know what's happening yet.
Exactly.
So until we do, I'm not going to make any complaints because...
Yeah. Like, who knows, like, this could just be one suit in, like, his little collection or armory of suits, and, like, that's all we see. He doesn't even wear it. You know what I mean? So, like, this could be...
think about how long he wore Iron Spider in Homecoming.
Exactly. Or even Far From Home, like, just in, like, the first little bit and then was done. If that. He wore it to, like, a meet and greet and was done. And we saw it in his room chilling. And so I don't doubt that either the Iron Spider suit will, like, evolve into the new suit and become that. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not too upset about this because it has a lot of details of, like, the older suit. And like you said, we don't know the context of why he's wearing it. Sure, would I like a more comic book accurate, black and kind of dark blue and red suit? Yes. But this is, like, it's the MCU Spider-Man, which means it has a lot of tie-ins with Iron Man and all those characters, and I've kind of accepted it for what it is, and so we'll see what happens with this. Again, the lines should be black. That is just a stupid decision on Hasbro. That's the one thing.
That's my one legitimate complaint with his suits is that, well, not even the figure, it's just in the actual movies, is that the web lines are so faded and not pronounced.
Yeah.
And, I don't need them to be Raimi pronounced where it's like he's like wearing barbed wire all over his suit. But I just would like them to be a little bit more visible than they are. And this figure makes it worse.
For sure. I will say something Brian said, and I think it was in relation to Doctor Strange, but I've noticed it now with both the figures, is both these figures have pinless arms. Doctor Strange and Spidey.
Oh, I didn't notice.
I didn't notice until he said it.
Does Doctor Strange have pin legs, though? I don't understand why Hasbro's
I can't see.
It looks like it to me.
Yeah, right there it looks like it, right? That could just be the wrinkle, though. I don't know. It's hard to tell with his stupid, probably hard hard plastic skirt.
Yeah, I don't understand why they've been doing that. The War Machine figure. It's like, okay, he has pinless arms, pins in the legs. Like, okay, well, what's the point of doing...
Exactly.
What's the point of doing pinless if you're not doing the whole thing? I mean, I still don't really understand pinless that much.
I only care about pinless if it's... Or I only care about pins if they're a different color than the actual, arms themselves. Then that makes me mad, because it's like, that completely ruins the figure. But if it's, like, the same color, like, it's, like, a red and the arm is red, or it's, like, a dark blue, just like this Doctor Strange arm, then I'm not up in arms about it. It's not something I immediately need fixed. Sure, in the future, if you could get to without pins on the figure, that would be great, but... It's nothing crazy. I would much prefer you make this cape cloth or this skirt cloth or just a comic Doctor Strange. Like, I don't need you guys to focus on pinless arms as much. So, yeah, I will say that the J. Jonah is pins in the arms, and pins in the legs.
It's like, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, exactly. They're the same color as the suit. It's not super noticeable.
I think in the the criticism that Hasbro could do stuff more like imports.
Yeah.
I don't really think this is the area that I'm like so enthralled by with imports. Like, oh man, there's no pegs in imports. Like that doesn't bother me. Like that's not a selling point for me.
Exactly.
I like, imports, it's better articulation or cloth.
Yep, exactly. I will say though, with no pins at all in this Spider-Man figure, I am very intrigued to maybe get this. I'd have to see how import companies do, but I mean, the articulation looks like it'll be good. I think this was a good choice for pinless because this texturing would be hard to replicate on a peg, on a pin. That's what I meant, pin. Like the texture of this black, so I think they actually went a good choice here. Again, the Doctor Strange doesn't matter too much, but I'm happy with this Spider-Man. So it'll be interesting to see, and he looks pretty good. And a black wash could fix the lines, and I think this would be a good figure. So
watch the movie come out and the spider's actually purple.
Oh my god, I wouldn't doubt it. Honestly, would not doubt it with the MCU. But here's our next release, and our final kind of teaser is this suit of Spidey, which very much reassembles. No, very much assembles it. What's the right word? Very much.
What are you looking for?
I don't know. Looks like the anti-Ock suit from the very boss battle of reminiscent. Thank you. Of the anti-Ock suit from the boss battle of PS4 Spider-Man, with these gold highlights, the black undersuit. So what do you think about this?
Yeah, I really need context for this because I don't know what's going on. I mean, like his arms are like his integrated suit or whatever it's called, upgraded, integrated. I can't remember which one it is. So like his forearms and hands are that, but then the rest is that. I'm assuming that this is some type of battle suit. I don't think he's going to be walking around looking like this. That would just seem weird to me.
Yeah, it's got to be definitely some sort of like souped up battle suit.
Is this a similar mold that they've used before? I don't even know.
This could be the same as this mold right here. It could be the same.
This one has pins though.
It does.
Gold.
Yep, it does. You're right. I don't know. The thing I was just noticing is the colors of the forearms to the hands are actually inverted to what I think the classic suit is. If you look, the fingertips are black, and the fingertips are red, and then it's black like in the details where it's red. So I don't know what is going on at all.
I don't know what that is.
So yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see. If this isn't the undersuit, if this isn't like his classic suit underneath, and this is just a part of this suit. What are the designers thinking? This looks so weird.
Yeah, that's really bizarre if that's the case. So I'm interested in getting further context for these because really, without a trailer, without anything other than speculation that we've gotten for this movie, and then to see these two suits, it's like, how can you be that fiery mad when we have no idea what is happening?
Exactly.
Like, what is happening? We don't know. Look at this black suit. What is happening?
Exactly.
I would love to know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But these are our little unofficial leaks. There was some Lego stuff, too. We won't get into too much. It wasn't anything too big. Something with the Vulture and Mysterio, so we'll see. They could be just doubling back to Homecoming and Far From Home. You know what I mean? With not much to do. And just, like, those being released in the Far From Home wave, but they're obviously, like, recreations of stuff from Far From Home and Homecoming. So we'll see. But I'm just kind of like meh about all of this. We'll see what happens. I'm waiting for the inevitable trailer that's gonna come out, and then I can start feeling some type of way for this movie.
The trailer will come out with the movie.
Exactly. Right. That's what it feels like right now. But I'm not. See, there's so many people speculating about Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, any of the old villains. They're getting all their hopes up. They're getting so excited, or they're getting they're getting whatever way, and I'm just completely neutral until I see the trailer because I'm not gonna get super psyched.
I'm neutral until I see the movie. The trailer, they be lying in the trailer all the time.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, if we see something in the trailer or just like hints of something in the trailer that will get my excitement up, and I'll be like, okay, now I'm kind of excited to see the movie, and more importantly, see what figures come out of the movie. Versus right now, I'm just like, I'm not gonna get my hopes up that these people will be in the movie, that these people won't be in the movie, that these figures will make it in the movie. I'm just completely like, whatever happens, not listening to anyone else. So
I'm just hoping that Daredevil is actually in it.
Me too.
That's what I want.
That's
all I want.
Charlie Cox.
Like, I want the Spider-Man. I'm like, bro, I saw those movies so many times. I want Daredevil.
Yep. That's all I care about. I would rather have Charlie Cox as Daredevil. Mainly just Daredevil, but Charlie Cox did so well in the Netflix series. I really want Charlie Cox, but I would rather have that than Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, William Dafoe, any of those like older characters, I would much rather have.
And it's really only because we've seen them.
Like exactly.
Before,
yeah, like exactly. We've seen
movies.
them.
We don't have a Spider-Man and Daredevil.
Exactly.
We don't.
And it's much needed. Like, it would be amazing. So, hopefully.
Yeah, originally when it was being discussed what this was going to be before the Spider-Verse stuff was kind of the biggest rumor. When they were talking about Daredevil, I was like, if they give me Daredevil, Kingpin, and Punisher in a Spider-Man movie, I will never watch another movie other than that movie ever. Yeah. I will just watch that movie every day.
Exactly. So, hopefully that happens, but we'll see. So, here we go. Going into then, we got some Power Ranger reveals. That's not our wheelhouse. I'm sorry, Brian, and everyone else who really loves that kind of stuff. But we did get this reveal of the... I don't even want to talk about it too much because I don't understand the point. I know people actually are really hyped about this and love this, but this is the... what's the official name here? Just the MODOK and the Captain figure? It's like part of the concert.
I don't know what the official name of the
MODOK
right
is. World Domination box set. There we go. That's what it was. It's like that tour that they go on. It's World Domination. So, I mean, I will say, if I'm going to say anything, the details actually look really... Like, this figure looks really good. The hair looks great.
Yeah, it does look really well done.
Yeah. The teeth look great. The details on the skin look great. The blue and the glasses and the gold highlights, the details on the chair. Why didn't we get this with the MODOK we got? Like, look at all this. I mean, the mic looks good. Like, they actually didn't just leave the paint, the stock, like, molded color, which is what they did on our MODOK that we got, the classic MODOK. That yellow, like, the yellow bits of this chair that are gold in this picture are just the stock molded yellow, like, without any paint whatsoever. And this is, like, gold paint.
Because they want you to buy it for HasCon.
I know, and it bothers me that they put so much time into, like... If we had gotten a standard issue...
Oh, it's going to be $74.
Yeah, because it comes with this figure as well, which makes no sense to me. Why it's that much, to be specific.
See, to me, I would want that Next Wave Captain figure single carded.
Yep, exactly.
Because that would just be a nice body. Like, the shoes and everything, that'd be cool. But this is never something I would get if it was just, available at retail. I want a regular MODOK before I get this, obviously. Yeah. But it looks good. Like, it doesn't look bad at all. They did a really nice job. That new...
Oh, sorry. Continue.
Oh, no, I was just talking about how good the face is. But what were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to say what I was wondering, and I don't know if it'd work, is if you could swap out the faceplate here and that maybe... take the hair off and then use this chair for the classic MODOK, just because it looks so much better than like the yellow just straight off the mold plastic of the other one. But I don't know because of the hair on top if you could do that if this is just stock. So I don't know. There's a thought. If you like this, good for you. But this is not my cup of tea or Alex's or really anyone's, just because it's not really needed. So
really anyone's? If you like this, you're a nobody.
Exactly.
Aiden said it first.
I did say it. Yeah, exactly. Oh, wow. I didn't realize this hit $30 over the past weekend. That's interesting. Good to know, because that figure's always been very high in price. The next thing for us to talk about was this teaser we got, not fully revealed yet, of this kind of cyborg Superman from Mafex, to be specific, which, to me, cool, but I really just want... a reissue of our classic Superman, maybe a darker blue and a smiling head sculpt, and I'll be content. I have the one we have. I don't really need another one, but I will say the one thing that would make it amazing or better is a smiling head sculpt. That's all it needs, and it's perfect, and it bums me out that we don't have that, and I feel like a darker blue would also be kind of cool because he's obviously rocked that color scheme as well. Now, we've gotten, let's see, how many Supermans have we gotten? We got the Dark Knight Returns the Hush one, and then the black suit with the gray symbol and the long hair. I forget what run that's from. God, what run's that from? Here, Mafex. This one is what I'm talking about. Return of Superman. There we go.
Yeah. I would never get a cyborg Superman at this price point. I'm eager to see how it looks, though. It could be really good looking. Yeah. There's only 3 Supermen that I want from Mafex, and Superman is probably the only one that I would get multiple versions of at this price point.
Yeah.
I would get, obviously, the Hush one that I missed out on, which was, a bummer. A Red Sun version, I would definitely get, and a Kingdom Come version.
For sure.
So I think those are like the only three. I think at this price point, I would mostly just have to get like one version of the character.
Yeah.
Like, okay, one Batman, one Martian Manhunter, one Aquaman. But yeah, I'm eager to see how this looks. All we get is his chest and abs. But it could be really cool. It's just not something I would get at $100 or even $50 probably. I just don't really need that, but it could be pretty cool.
Yep, and I feel the exact same way where I don't need this. If you like this look, cool. And we haven't even gotten to see the full figure yet, so it's kind of hard to gauge on how good this will be. But I only need one or two, and all I need is the classic red and blue, classic symbol Superman. Possibly a, I don't know, maybe a Red Sun Superman. That's like the only other one that I might like kind of want because I like that look. But yeah, either way, cool for people, but not as much my cup of tea. And Mafex is sticking with their basically honored word of only making their DC figures off of like looks in specific runs. So
I tell you what, I like that better than what Mezco is doing,
which is their own kind of thing. Yeah,
right. I just kind of wish it was a little bit more free range than specific stories, because then it's like, well, who's picking the stories? You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I completely agree. And yeah, it'll look good. I just wish what I want from Mafex before they keep giving us more looks for their two most popular characters, basically from DC, Batman and Superman, is I want a classic Green Arrow, classic Wonder Woman, classic Flash, Barry Allen's, or Wally West really, but mainly Barry Allen because he's the first. Aquaman, Hal Jordan, or John Stewart Green Lantern, either or just a Green Lantern with swappable parts, because I have a feeling that that would probably be what they do. And then who else am I missing off the top of my head? Oh, Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, I will take the entire JL team.
Yep.
I will take several GLs, Yellow Lanterns, Red. I will take all the lanterns if they make them.
Yeah.
I've talked about that before. I would purge my entire savings just to get every lantern.
I would love for them to do like some of the lantern core, whether yellow or green, or I really Hal Jordan / John Stewart like Green Lantern they release, I would buy so quickly. I'd be so excited about. The same with like a classic Flash. I would be so stoked about. The ones I most want are Martian Manhunter, Flash, Green Arrow, and probably Green Lantern, because I feel like those are the ones we've been deprived of the most in like the DC Icons or Essentials lines. We've gotten an Aquaman from Mezco. We've gotten like decent Aquamans in those packs they've released. Like those look okay.
Decent Wonder Woman too.
Yep, exactly. Where Green Arrow has not done one at all. Flash has gotten an okay one, but not to like the extent I would want it to be, where it actually like, because Flash could come with so many effects and like heads and hands. And then Martian Manhunter easily needs his due justice. And Green Lantern, I mean, we need a good Green Lantern with effects and different head sculpts and rings, and I mean not rings, effects, and hands and stuff. So I think those are the ones that I would be most excited about and buy without hesitation if they released. And I think those are also the most needed figures and I would die if we got those. I'd be so excited.
I think the hardest one to decide on for me would be Green Arrow, because I need to see how they would do a classic one and how they would do a more modern one. I don't really want a new 52 one. I like the goatee look. I know a lot of people like, oh, he looked better without the goatee. I like the goatee. But I would need to like see both of them before I decide, because of my like one look thing. I would obviously I would like both. I would like to just get every DC figure that they do.
Of course.
Like, okay, so do I want the little hat, or do I want a hood? You know what I mean?
Yep, and that's how I would feel too. I'd be really bummed if they did a like Green Arrow look that I wasn't a huge fan of. Obviously pulling from like something super obscure. And the same could be said. Martian Manhunter is kind of hard to get exactly right, but he also kind of has a pretty continuous look for the most part of a pretty good like easily seen look. So I don't know. We'll see. But those are what I'm most excited for.
We know what Green Arrow they're going to make first.
Yes.
So I don't really need that, but
No.
that'll be interesting to see how it looks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be excited to get an entire JL team, because that would be really cool. Martian Manhunter would be cool. Villains would be, a Mafex Brainiac. I was just thinking about that the other day. That would be super cool.
Mafex Classic Darkseid. That'd be interesting. I don't think they've. Someone else was saying it when they were talking about another figure, but I don't think they've done a bigger figure. Mafex has, besides like the Dark Knight Returns Batman and Superman, which are just like stockier, but I wouldn't qualify them as big figures. So I'd be very interested to see how Mafex would tackle that. That'd be very interesting. So we'll see. But I think for me, the ones that I really want out of like all Mafex right now would be a classic Daredevil, and then pause the Marvel stuff because we have so many Marvel Legends in that spot. Daredevil's just kind of, for me, it's not super needed, but I would love it. But pause Marvel and just give a lot of your time to DC, because again, we do not have any amazing lines doing DC right now, and that's what needs the most attention. So if we got, again, the whole Justice League, I'd be psyched. Some Bat family characters like Robin, Nightwing, I would be
Red
Hood. I would be in literal heaven at that point if they actually gave that much time to those characters.
Yeah, Deathstroke.
Yep. Oh my God, Deathstroke.
Besides Deathstroke and Red Hood and the GLs, I think the thing that I would absolutely go nuts is if they make a Shazam and a Black Adam. I would absolutely lose my mind.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
Black Adam is probably my favorite DC villain. If they do, I'd hope that they would do a classic one, because I do like the modern look. I like it, with the Buccaneer boots, and sometimes he would take his cape off and stuff, and that would just look epic to me. So I would lose my mind. I've been waiting way too long for good DC figures, so I'm hoping that they pool their resources there a little bit more, because again, I like that they're doing specific stories in comparison to a Mezco, but I kind of want, just release a regular version. We just need, come on, get the ball rolling. I don't need a specific Wonder Woman from Kingdom Come or something in gold armor. I want a regular Wonder Woman.
Yep.
There are some that I would want, but I don't think I would necessarily need. I wouldn't necessarily need a Mafex Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless he's in the armor. If he's if he's in a regular suit, I wouldn't.
Well, exactly, because there's just nothing too special about that. But if he's kind of souped up a little bit in one of his armors, then I'd probably end up trying to get him, just because, again, we don't have a definitive classic Lex Luthor for Superman to go against or even be with, and that'd be awesome. So again, DC needs all the attention pretty much.
Correct.
There's very few Marvel figures that need to be made by Mafex that Legends hasn't done in a decent capacity. Now,
it's really all the acrobatic people that they need to make.
Exactly, because Black Legends just can't tackle it as well. Yep. Plenty of others. Nightcrawler would be kind of cool to see. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But yeah, the chat has been kind of going wild with people saying what they want from Mafex. Definitely Daredevil, Chad said. Brian wants a classic Wally. He said Icon's made a Green Arrow and they made a dope Green Lantern, but in all honesty, the articulation is not great. And
it was cool.
Yeah, it works. It's a good placeholder,
cool.
But we need Mafex to do one. It would be night and day the difference between Icon's releases versus Mafex's. So that definitely.
I'm still mad I could never get the NECA one, because that one I really wanted.
The NECA Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one looked cool, and it had a lot of accessories, and we got Sinestro, and I think they even went and gave us some other lanterns. Am I wrong? From different factions. There was, I thought a red lantern.
No, I think it was.
Or was it
just the Predator?
Okay, that's what it was. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it was a Predator Yellow Lantern, I think.
Cool. So
I would love for them to just really pump out the DC figures, because that would just. I would be very broke, though. I'd be extremely broke. And there would realistically probably be some I would miss.
Yeah, for sure.
I just had to be okay, until I get all of the heroes, I'm only doing heroes. That's I can't get any villains. At least with my budget. Realistically, I would want everything, because it would just be so cool.
Yeah. Oh, God, the possibilities. Brian said he'd take a Rebirth Green Arrow look. I like the Rebirth look for Green Arrow. It's pretty classic. with the beard and everything, so that would work for me. Um, Johnny Plastic Thunder says Rebirth Nightwing as soon as possible, please. That'd be interesting. I'd definitely be down to see that. Brian,
I really, really want a classic Bane.
oh
Don't
my
give
god,
me souped up nasty Bane.
Now I
both
will
Bane
say,
and Venom.
like, I think Storm Collectibles has done a decent job with that already, but it's like huge.
Yeah.
But I think for now, I would be content with getting everything and then Bane in the mix later on. Like, out of our first wave of like classic DC characters, I would want basically the JL, the Justice League first, and then some Batman specific stuff. So like Deathstroke, Nightwing, Robin, Black Adam, and Captain Marvel would be amazing as well. Like, and then obviously Green Lantern in that Justice League mix.
Yeah.
Like, out of the first most needed ones, I feel like that's kind of in there for me. And then after that, we could get into more Batman villains, the Sinestro Corps, like even like Tigress and like Wonder Woman villains, Eobard Thawne. That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah.
A Reverse Flash, probably pretty easy if they already had the Flash body with minor modifications.
I think I could see that being like the different versions of the Dark Knight Batman that we got. Like, just as soon as you put out a Flash, you can just easily do
exactly
Reverse Flash.
I mean, you could do even like Godspeed. Like, it's pretty easy to get that body and do other like looks for villains and other Flash, Wally West. You could definitely kind of reuse that for the most part.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that if they do Bane, it's like a regular Nightfall. But I really don't like souped up Bane.
Yeah,
because both Bane and Venom, I like it when they're slimmer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like I don't hate Monster Venom. I just like it gets a little over the top to me.
Yeah,
but Bane is the worst offender. Like I Arkham Bane is disgusting.
Oh, yeah. He's like unhealthily just insanely big and
I cannot with that. But I'd be so thrilled to get those, and I really hope that they would eventually do Elseworld type stuff or other stories. Like, if they give us a Rorschach from Watchmen, I would lose my mind.
Well, the question is, would you rather have Mezco do a Rorschach, or would you rather have Mafex do a Rorschach? If both did it probably to their best of their ability, which I think I know.
If they did to the best of their ability, I would probably. That's tough because.
Really?
I don't.
Interesting.
It's tough because I don't know the quality of Mafex cloth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they were to do cloth, like the Hush that they're doing is plastic. So like if they were to do it plastic, then I'd be like, if Mezco can do one to the best of their ability, I would take a Mezco version.
Yeah.
I would have to see them. You know what I mean? Because Mafex, sometimes the stuff leans a little bit less detailed, more comic booky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep, true.
And mainly I'm a detail realistic person. Yeah. But I would just have to see it, if they did a cloth mask for Rorschach, I would need to see if that looks good. You know what I mean? But that would be a tough one. I think, like we've talked about, if either company did a Red Hood or Red Hood, Mafex or Mezco, that would also be tough. But I think more so it's Rorschach. I don't know which company I would get it from. But I tell you what, though, currently, seeing their abilities, I would get the Mafex one, because Mezco, the single joints are not for me.
No, exactly, but for sure.
I would lose my mind. Dr. Manhattan would be easy, but I don't know if that would be too easy for me. Like, it's just a blue figure for $90. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that's a lot for just a blue naked guy. So I don't know. I would have to see what that would come with. But Rorschach, I would lose my marbles. If they did a Sandman, I would lose my marbles. The DC version.
Yeah.
There's just so much. We've just gone on a whole rant about it.
But it's true though. It's kind of shown how deprived we are of DC figures, because I think it's really easy to get in the Marvel headspace when we have the MCU, which is ever dominant and kind of presiding over the comic book world right now. We have Marvel figures being made basically every week coming out from Legends. And you forget sometimes how much DC is a great comic book universe, and more importantly, how much we need figures in our collection and to shoot and just everything. And
right,
so
better figures.
Exactly, better figures for sure. So
because we do have figures, but
technically yes, I just don't know how much a McFarlane figure qualifies as a figure instead of a statue.
Right. McFarlane is a statue.
Yep.
Freaking Mattel, it was like a block.
It was like it was horrible. It's horrible.
Everything is blocky and has like no pivot whatsoever.
Yep. It's like four joint
Mattel
figures.
started to get better, but as soon as they started to get better, that's when they were selling the license.
Yeah.
Like Alfred is a good figure.
Alfred's a great figure. Great articulation, great sculpt, great accessories. I mean, if they had continued on that path, I would have been so excited because the scale's perfect, but then they're...
Or even the David Vonner stuff. Do you follow David Vonner on this?
I don't. I should. I will.
I don't know if he's private or not, but if you can find that prototype Batman, I cannot believe how deprived.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see.
I cannot express how angry I am that this didn't happen.
How far is Batman?
I mean, I think it was a year ago, so it might be a while.
Let's see.
I don't know if you need to.
We're gonna find it. I swear. Wait, what is this?
I might have it saved. I can probably just send it to you on Instagram.
That would be a good idea. I remember I saw it. We talked about it. Yeah. I just don't. It's pretty long time ago. Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, I do. Okay, I'll send you both.
Yeah. I'll scroll back.
The head sculpts are a little weird, but I mean these are prototypes. But dude, I am so mad that we didn't get these. Like, come on. Are you kidding me? That's a Batman Marvel Legend. It's a Batman Marvel Legend.
Look at that. Look at that.
Come on.
Oh my god.
I like.
This bothers me.
If we were getting this entire Mayfix discussion would not be happening. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's cool, but I don't need to pay $90 when I get this $20 Batman.
Yep.
Ugh. I don't even understand.
Yeah.
It boggles my mind that we were this close. We were this close to having this potentially.
But yeah, this bothers me on so many levels. I mean, look at this. It's so good. The only thing that would make this figure quite literally perfect in every aspect would be a cloth cape. That's it.
Right.
Then it would be literally perfect. And without it, I mean, it's still like as a neutral Batman to like pose. I mean, the sculpted details, just everything is like perfect about these figures, and we never got them.
And could you imagine the other figures we could have, like a Superman this style? Like, oof.
I mean, look at the stubble. Oh wait, no, never mind. That wasn't. I mean, there's still details, but not as much stubble. But still, I mean, amazing. I mean, the muscle tone, the articulation, double jointed elbows, big ab crunch, thigh swivels, double joint knees. This is literally a Marvel Legend DC figure, and it would have been amazing.
Yeah, you know how nuts we would have went if this came out. Like we would have absolutely lost it. But yeah, Mayfix though, they're really good. They're just pricey. That's like the only problem with Mayfix for me. It's like I have to literally sell a kidney in order to get one of them.
Yeah.
At this stage in my life, but they're so good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, going on to
with Cyborg Superman.
Yeah, going on to a little bit more toy news, but first let me just catch up on the chat real quick. Brian says they can't do Green Arrow without Black Canary. I would actually really like to see a classic Black Canary done. That'd be cool. Not on the top of my list, but it would be definitely something I would want in the future. 796 is in the chat saying what's up. And yes.
What's up, Mario?
That's it, pretty much. And then obviously Brian and Johnny are saying how painful it is.
Hey, Mario, where my rude boy head at, bro?
Alex, always mooching, I swear.
This is how you survive in the wasteland.
This was like this doesn't matter to me at all, but McFarlane's doing the Zack Snyder stuff. Here's their dark side. I don't care.
I'm amazed that they made this design look worse.
Yep, exactly.
Like
McFarlane,
look at it. Their abilities to make crap is exceptional. Like, how did they make this look worse? Look at his waist, bro. His upper half is a fridge, and then his bottom half is a freaking cooler. Like, what's going on?
It's horrible. That's pretty much it for toy news. There hasn't been a ton revealed, but just some little stuff here and there. Now it is time to get into screen time. But before, again, Johnny and Brian are just saying how painful it is. Imagine if we got a whole Justice League in that kind of look.
Oh my God,
which would have been amazing. Imagine, how well that would have gone with the Rebirth Red Robin, and it's a big bummer, which it is. It's a huge bummer that we do not currently have that as our look for the characters, and a line that is basically the substitute DC version of Legends. So,
right.
Huge bummer.
Like that is everything I wanted.
Exactly.
Like when we were talking about dream lines, I think like many podcasts ago, one of them I said was the Joes, which we have now, which is kind of unreal that we actually have that now.
Exactly.
I didn't think they were going to do that, but DC line Legend style is like, ugh. Mattel did. They were getting better. I mean, they still had some really awful figures in that Alfred wave, but they were getting better.
Well, this was a Mattel thing that Dave Vonner created for Mattel.
Right.
So if we had given the line probably another year of life, I see that especially with how good they got in that last 2 waves, I see that could 1000% have probably taken fruition and come out or started to get to that point of quality that design.
Imagine if McFarlane did that.
I don't
imagine
even know
if
what I
McFarlane
think.
was a good company.
That's the better question. Is imagine if McFarlane was a good company. That's the better question. Oh my God, the possibilities.
It's funny because their figures aren't super bad. There's just something that's done bad that makes the whole thing trash. Sometimes.
And again,
have you seen the Idris that they're doing for Suicide Squad?
No, I have not.
Look at it. It looks absolutely nothing like Idris Elba. It looks like it doesn't. I don't know who that is. It's not even his same skin tone.
For me, I don't understand how you can go from I don't know. I'm pretty sure you've seen this too, but I don't know how you can go from the God, who is it? The Flashpoint Batman they created, solid sculpt, solid articulation, to that black and gray Superman suit from the Zack Snyder Justice League, that Henry Cavill Superman, which is the softest face, a statue, doesn't move, huge in scale.
The thing I don't understand is the spawns. Okay, so the Mortal Kombat spawn, excellent, has all the articulation you would want, great sculpt. Only problem is that it's slightly big and you can't really use it with Legends and stuff. That's the only issue. Great figure and a rubber cape, but come on, it's a domestic $20 company. We don't necessarily need to keep bothering them about cloth.
Yeah.
But the classic spawns that they did, no ab articulation, stuck in a weird ab contortion. Heads are weird. Cape is even more plasticky. It's not even rubbery. Less articulate. It's what the heck? You did it correctly, and then you did it worse the second time. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's a huge bummer. Very annoying. I mean, that's really all we can say about McFarlane. Screen time. We actually, I think, got quite a bit, right? There's definitely been some stuff coming out.
Yeah, there's been some interesting stuff. I'm trying to find this Bloodsport figure, so I guess it looks so bad, bro. It looks absolutely nothing like Idris Elba.
I saw the picture of the whole team together, that McFarlane did, but I didn't get to see an individual photo of them.
Okay, I'll send it to you on Instagram so you can show the world this atrocity.
I can't show the world this atrocity.
This is not even his skin tone, bro. Who is this? Yeah. It's somebody cosplaying as Bloodsport.
Pulling it up. Oh my God, what is that? Okay.
Who is that, bro?
I'm switching it.
Who is that?
There we go. It's horrible.
It's like a homeless man that they just found.
Horrible. I mean, yeah, and you already know it's gonna move like a brick. I mean, the torso has no articulation whatsoever. The legs look bad in every aspect of the game. This whole figure could not be worse if it tried. And this is what pisses me off about McFarlane is sometimes they have a hit like their Flash figures or their Flashpoint Batman. Some of their other stuff.
Spawn.
Yeah, Spawn. Their Fortnite figures weren't too bad.
White Knight Batman was pretty good, although that single elbows kind of bothered me. But they have some decent stuff.
For sure.
They're the crappiest company in the world.
But then they
do things.
Flip the script and they do this kind of stuff.
Like that Dr. Fate with grip hands. What is he grabbing?
God. Horrible. Horrible. I mean, just put trigger finger hands on him at that point. There's no point. It's just stupid. It's horrible.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
But
So.
yeah, as far as screen time, there's a little bit of stuff. So starting with, there's been some rumors that, well, it seems of kind of official that Megan the Stallion is going to be in the She-Hulk series.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, this is absolutely random and ridiculous, and why are they doing it? But more has come out that apparently, like in the 90s She-Hulk comics, she's going to be interacting with a lot of celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. I mean, you're kind of dating your show with modern day celebrities in it. You know what I mean? That's kind of something I would definitely, shy away from. Like, yes, we're gonna date this in 2021 by having this 2021 artist in it. So that's kind of weird. But if she's playing herself and it's just like cameos, I'm fine with it. It doesn't really matter that much. I'm just hoping that the show. There's a lot of stuff about it. I'm hoping it doesn't come off very corny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. True.
Because that's, her breaking the fourth wall, meeting celebrities and stuff. I think like the 30-minute runtime, that can just seem a little goofy. So I'm hoping it's not like ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then besides that, the trailer for What If dropped today.
I have not seen it yet, but I will see it in just a little bit. You can talk about it. I mean, I'm going to see it. So, and
it looks interesting. I just need to see the episodes. I'm hoping it's not a dud.
Yeah.
It just kind of looks like one of those things that you watch it and it can either be pretty good, or you're just like, I mean, it wasn't bad. I just kind of just saw it. Like, that's kind of like the vibe I'm getting from the trailer.
Yeah.
It's like something to watch as opposed to something really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we'll see. It looked interesting, so we'll see. That comes out in August, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Obviously, tomorrow, Black Widow comes out. I will be watching that at home.
Does it come out on like Disney Plus tomorrow?
For premium access, I will not be paying premium access. I will be using other sources.
Oh, Jack Sparrow.
Right. Curse of the Black Pearl type sources.
Exactly.
But I'm eager to finally see that and see if it's any good at all. It could be total trash. It could be really good.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yep. Who knows? I'm intrigued.
Sorry,
it'll be interesting, like everyone said, for the MCU to be back on the big shining silver screen for the first time in 2 years. That'll be a really, because again, there was a point like right before Infinity War and even kind of after where we were getting MCU movies by like almost like every 2 to 3 months we were getting a release coming out. It was pretty crazy. Leading up to Infinity War, that is. So I'm definitely like it was, and I think the shows have filled that void. But it'll be interesting to see kind of the MCU back like in its full capacity on the movie screen. So I'll probably see it in theaters just because my family and I are going back to theaters a little bit. Saw Fast 9 in theaters. I'm never gonna talk about it again in my life. Hate that movie with every passion I have. But it is kind of fun going back to theaters and stuff like that. So I'll try to hopefully get it in theaters. Well, I can. But yeah, I'm excited. It'll be intriguing. But again, I don't have my hopes super high because, Black Widow movie so far from when we should have had it come out. We should have had a Black Widow movie a while ago. But I'm excited to see the characters they're introducing, and see where it goes. So it'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah. Going back to She-Hulk, actually, for some, I forgot about this. A rumor gaining traction that Charlie Cox might be in it.
Anything I can take him in, I'll take it. If it's She-Hulk, sure. But obviously, I want a Spider-Man Daredevil movie, or like collaboration in that way. Like that is someone Daredevil works with well and like has had a relationship with in the comics a lot. She-Hulk would be interesting. But I wouldn't be turned off by it at all because we'd still be getting Charlie Cox Daredevil, and I am completely fine with that. If we got that, and then we got John Bernthal Punisher and Spider-Man, man, I would die. Or both in Spider-Man, I don't know. It's just, if we can somehow save those two characters specifically, I will be very content. Those are obviously the two, in my opinion, best. Jessica Jones, I don't know. I mean, sure. Like, she did a great job as Jessica Jones. I'll be fine with that. Or a good job as Jessica Jones. I'll be fine with that in the MCU.
I would keep everybody but Iron Fist.
That's what I was gonna say. I was also gonna say Luke Cage. I'd be completely good with. I don't remember the actor's name, but he did a great job. But Iron Fist is the one I would want them to switch probably.
Yeah, or just completely ignore. Like,
and it's easy to do that if they say that there's a multiverse and obviously like everything that's happened, like in terms of through Avengers 1 happened on their Earth, and like that's why there's reference to it in that show, but then kind of things in New York like spilled off and they bring those people, like that's an easy way to say why that Danny Rand is not the same as our Danny Rand on this Earth, or you know what I mean?
Totally ignore it.
Or just totally ignore it. That is true. We could completely do that because they already said Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't canon. I don't remember if they said the same about the Netflix series or not, but
they haven't really.
They haven't acknowledged it. Okay, good to know. But yeah, I know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is no longer canon. In fact, I mean, we can kind of talk about it, but in Loki, like the first or second episode, I think the first episode basically said that Coulson was dead, essentially. Like, kind of flat out, like, said he died and, you know, the Avengers avenged him. Like, didn't try to lean into the fact that he survived. Yeah. So I think they're completely sticking with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. not canon at all. So, interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it'll be interesting to see if he actually shows up.
For sure,
that would be cool. Like you said, I'll take him anywhere. You know what I mean? Like I don't need that. Put him in Hawkeye. I don't care.
Yep, exactly. That's how I feel. Yeah. Well, cool. Is that it for screen time or anything else?
I thought I had something else. I'm trying to remember because I didn't write everything down. I don't think. Good. Book of Boba Fett finished filming.
Oh, good to know. I didn't know that.
So I'll be intrigued. Well, I think Tamura Morrison finished filming. I don't know if the actual production stopped filming or not, but he wrapped. So I'm interested in seeing how that turns out. I don't know if we'll get flashbacks or if it's just all going to be in the present, or I don't know what they're going to do. So yeah, I'll be intrigued. I'm still nervous about the Star Wars shows. Because I'm like, we're gonna get so many. Like, Star Wars was a thing where like every 30 years, all of a sudden a new thing came out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, it's been years since the prequels came out years after the originals came out. The sequels came out like 10 years after the prequels. Yeah. So it's like, it's going to be odd transitioning to a point where we're getting a whole bunch of Star Wars. And I'm not saying I'm against that because I would love as much Star Wars as possible. I just don't want them to overexert their abilities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I'm still a bit nervous about them. The Visions featurette came out. That was one thing I forgot about.
Yeah, and I did see that.
I didn't watch the whole thing because I didn't think they were showing any footage. It turns out that they did, and I missed it.
So did they show like concrete footage or just like kind of like footage while they talked over it of like little like things? I don't remember.
Brian told me that they showed footage. I kind of skimmed through.
I did too.
Footage because I really don't care about behind the scenes unless I've seen the scenes. You know what I mean?
That's how
I don't care beforehand.
Yeah.
So I was kind of skipping around and I didn't see anything, but I could have been wrong, so I need to go back and check.
Either way, though, I was intrigued quite a bit. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm always a let me see footage of the actual thing guy, so yeah, my interest is only going to be piqued there, so that's why I kind of just was like, this has nothing in it that I really need to see, so let me move on. But yeah. I'm intrigued. I'm hoping it's pretty good. I am wondering if it is okay. So of course I didn't watch the featurette, so I don't know. But is any of it going to be any type of canon? Is what I'm wondering.
Nope, they have confirmed it is not canon.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that, but
right, because until I see it, there could just be stuff that's like totally ridiculous. That I was like, of course that's not canon, but theoretically, I'd be fine if there's Japanese Jedi walking around, you know what I mean? Like, I don't object to that, but I mean, if it's,
it does, I mean,
Darth Vader dies or something.
From what I've seen, it's not tackling anything we've ever seen. It's not tackling Han Solo, any big bads, any, like, strong characters we've ever seen. It's completely original stories in the Star Wars universe, a lot of which taking on anime kind of, like, relationships and, like, just stuff like that. So, I mean, there's a certain amount of, like, there's certain stories being told by certain people. So like, someone from this company is getting like to tell this story about like a little like robot or creature in the Star Wars universe, something like that. I saw one that was like a Jedi Sith relationship one with a master and apprentice one. And then there's like another one that I'm forgetting as well. And from what I've seen of the Jedi Sith kind of ones, like the ones focusing on that, it seems like they're definitely going to get kind of like crazy and see some like cool stuff. And like Brian says, since it's not canon, they basically have complete creative freedom to do whatever and show some pretty crazy stuff in terms of Jedi and Sith powers or duels or, anything like that. So as much as I would like them to kind of stay grounded and do it canon, so like we get more Star Wars content that's actually like a part of the universe, it will be interesting to see them like completely free range, go basically crazy and like do some really cool stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's my thing with kind of like iffy on the canon thing, because I would like it to be canon because that gives them the opportunity to do more different stuff within the story. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so we find out that there's like this one part of the galaxy where these people legit look like samurai. Like, that would be cool to me. So then they could do that in one of the shows or in the movies or whatever. So I would like that possibility. But again, this is me saying that without having seen it. So I could full on watch it and go like, oh no, that would never, like, who has a lightsaber that looks like a hat? Like, what I mean? Like, it could be something totally ridiculous. So I don't know yet, but I'm kind of iffy on it right now. Mostly I want canon additions to things. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That was kind of what bummed me out when Disney bought Lucasfilm and kind of, changed the canon and stuff, because I had already read so much stuff that is now legends that it was like, well, I have to like rebuild all these identities for these people. Like Boba Fett was the biggest offender, the Fetts. Yeah. Because, I was reading those comics because I was really intrigued by that. And it was like, oh, nope, none of that happened. So it's like, well, what, Yeah. It's hard for me to get invested in things that I know is just like, has no effect on anything whatsoever.
Exactly.
So it'll be intriguing. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely excited to see a stylized Star Wars. I was just kind of hoping that it would be a legit thing within the universe.
Of course.
But I think that's mainly. I don't think I'm forgetting anything for screen time. I could be forgetting something so major now.
From what I've seen in the chat, Visions was the last thing to talk about, so I think we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm excited to see Visions and What If. I want to see how Disney Plus does these other animations. Like, obviously they're doing the Clone Wars style stuff, and Monsters at Work, which just dropped. Brian and I were talking about that last night. I didn't see it because
did it really care. Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I definitely. I
saw the trailer.
I'm curious. Yeah, I saw part of the trailer, but I didn't see all of it. I think it was on TV or something, or. So I gotta backtrack and watch it.
I saw the trailer and I kind of got the gist that I'm probably too old for that now. Yeah. Like, it doesn't have the Pixar oomph that keeps me wanting. Like, I love Pixar movies. Yeah. So the shows, I really don't like the Pixar sequels, most of them. Like Incredibles 2, I enjoyed, and obviously the Toy Story stuff. Toy Story has the best track record for the sequels.
For sure.
But the other ones, it never has anywhere near the same flair to me.
Yep, completely agree.
So the show, when I watched the trailer, it kind of gave me that vibe. So I was like, that's probably not something I need to see.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I will say,
I would want it to be good because Monsters Inc. is like, I love that movie. So.
Oh yeah. I was going to say,
but
we had this debate, me and Finn, and I think Brian was a part of it too. Where do you think Cars is a good movie? The first Cars.
Brian told me about that.
He did.
Cars is an okay movie. It's really just Doc Hollywood with cars. That's pretty much it.
It's so good. It's such a good movie. It's such a good story.
The story is so derivative of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
And one thing I like about Pixar is I like how, a lot of times deep their stories can get and how intricate their stories are. So Cars is not one of those. It's just kind of...
So it wouldn't be in your top 10.
The Cars sequels are by far the worst sequels.
Yes, for sure.
Cars 2 is like the worst movie ever.
Cars 2 is the worst out of all the Pixar movies. I think it's the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, that was horrible. But it's okay. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's just... I would not put it in the upper echelon of Pixar movies.
Yeah, because we were talking about our top 10, which, in fact, once we started getting into it, like, actually diving into it, it is really hard to rank a top 10. Like, the first 5 is probably fairly easy, depending on your, like, preference, because any of the top 10 could pretty close to be in the top 5. Obviously, 1 and 2 are, like, pretty concrete for most people, for the most part.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I have the hardest time deciding between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because I love Incredibles, but I also really, really love Ratatouille, and I can't decide between the two. Like, Incredibles, to me, Ratatouille's plot is a little bit more interesting to me. Incredibles is like the comic booky thing that can only be but so intricate in an animated kids movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, the hardest thing, I love the Pixar music, and Ratatouille and Incredibles music is like the hardest thing for me to decide between.
Yeah.
I love those soundtracks so much. It is so hard, so I can never figure out 1 and 2. I think 3 for me is, it's hard because at this stage in my life, I like the more intricate plots. I like,
of course.
You know, but obviously the ones that are less intricate, like for example, Nemo isn't really that intricate. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's intricate for an animated kids movie, which all Pixar films are to an extent.
Yeah.
So, but that I like that movie, you know? Monsters, Inc. isn't really that intricate and substantial, but I really like that movie. So it's kind of hard for 3, but I think if I'm going for the, like, more serious stuff that intrigue me now, I think Inside Out is my 3rd. I really, really like that movie. That movie was... That was my favorite since Ratatouille was Inside Out.
Got it. Interesting. Yeah, for me, I think Bug's Life is up there for me and, like, mine, because I really have a soft spot for that movie, and it's a pretty good story. And Incredibles, obviously, is up there. WALL-E's a good movie. I wouldn't say it's top 5, but it's definitely up there.
WALL-E's pretty good. WALL-E, I think, would have benefited from coming out in this time frame.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they could have done some parts of it a little bit better. Like, I think the actual message of WALL-E is, like, really good. It's just, and it's a good movie. It's just, I think it could have been, you know, if the Inside Out and Soul team did WALL-E, I think it would be even better. Yeah. And I really like Soul. It's not super high on my list just because I compare it a lot. I compare most of the ones that come out now to Inside Out. Inside Out, like, blew my mind with the concept. Like, the actual deepness and intricacy of what they were talking about and the subject matter, like, actually, like, broke me for several days. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about that movie after I saw it. So, like, you know, it's hard. Pixar is really hard because of those two things. I like the good movie, but I also like the movie that makes me think in this genre. Yeah. So it's very hard to rank them because, like, Monsters, Inc. doesn't make me think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, see, for me, like, a kind of combination of both would be, like, the first and second Toy Story, specifically the first, because it was, like, that is, like, top 1 or 2 for me. Toy Story 3,
I really like Toy Story 3 because, first off, the bear was so evil, bro. Like, I don't even understand. That bear was so evil. Yeah. And the ending and stuff, I love. So, you know, it's really hard. Coco is another one that I actually really enjoyed. And the villain in Coco, I don't want to spoil it, but the villain was an evil person.
For Coco. Sure.
Like, holy crap, that was an evil person.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a very hard list to make because I don't know which way I lean. Yeah. The intricacy or the feel good. I don't know where I lean. Yeah. That's very hard. That's a very hard dance.
Yeah. And the thing about Pixar too is, in my opinion, besides sequels, they don't really miss. Like, Pixar specifically.
Yeah, they don't really. I mean, they have some kind of boring movies. Like,
I'd say they have some, like, okay.
Up has really good moments sometimes, but it can be kind of boring. You know, Cars is an okay movie. Brave is...
Brave is the bottom echelon of it. I'd say Cars 2, Brave...
Yeah, obviously the sequels, besides Toy Story. Toy Story are the only ones where you could argue that...
Did you see Toy Story 4?
The sequels are better than the first one.
Did you see Toy Story 4?
I did. I was not a fan of that.
Really? Just because it kind of, like, undid 3 a little? Like, it didn't undo, but, like, it changed.
To me, 3 should have been the end of it.
Yeah.
the continuation of it, the like secondary ending that they did in 4 was kind of like, this isn't really any better to me than the third. The third one was complete. This whole story was complete to me by that point.
I mean,
4 just kind of seemed like an extension of something that wasn't even better than the actual ending to me.
I definitely, I mean, I agree that 3 was like it was a great ending to like the Toy Story kind of series. But 4, like the way it ended also, in my opinion, was another great ending that I didn't see coming. And like I actually kind of liked for Woody's character arc of like basically needing Andy his whole life and like kind of freaking out over being an owner and then realizing like he's just not all that anymore. And he's like not what kids want and like kind of being okay with that. So like I liked that. But of course, like Toy Story 3 was a great ending too. So like it was a weird situation,
I think the ending of 4 is fine. It's just the entire movie leading up to that, it was kind of like, we've been here already, like 3 times.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at that point, it was kind of like, to me, it didn't elevate anything to warrant a 4th movie. It was just kind of like, it kind of happened.
Yeah,
like, to me, the ending was 3, and then 4 was just kind of something that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of a similar feeling, although I was much more positive about it. It was a similar feeling with Incredibles 2 for me, although I was more positive about it, was that it was like, it didn't really... Incredibles 2 frustrated me because I enjoyed it, but it was like, this is rehashing of the first movie.
Yeah.
They, like, did so many of the same things. And it was like the same, but like, look, Jack has powers and he's acting crazy. Or look, one of the, the spouse is away and the other one has to take care of the kids. Look, it's a secret villain that's like, you think they're a friend, but actually they're not. It was kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So Toy Story 4 was kind of like that, where it was like, it didn't expand on it for me, and that kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
But,
I definitely agree. I will say...
yeah, Pixar is near perfect. It's just the sequels and a few boring movies.
Yep, exactly. And even the boring movies aren't necessarily bad. They're just not like... They're nowhere near comparison to like the top, again, upper echelon of Pixar. Brian was saying The Good Dinosaur isn't great either, which I agree with. That's probably, again, bottom tier for the most part. 796 said no Big Hero 6, and Big Hero 6 is a Disney animated movie, I believe. It's not Pixar.
Big Hero 6 and Zootopia are the best things by far that Disney 3D have done.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I guess, in my opinion, I don't know how you feel about this, Alex, but the first Frozen, before it just was so oversaturated, I actually kind of enjoyed the story. I didn't think the story was terrible.
I enjoyed Frozen the very first time I watched it.
And that's what
in the theater. But then the second time I watched it, I think everyone's hype really killed the first one for me.
And I
because it's like,
agree.
This actually isn't that good. Like, I much prefer Big Hero 6. I much prefer Zootopia.
For sure.
And even Moana, to an extent, I prefer it. So it was like...
I just think Frozen gets a bad
like,
rap
really
because of the people.
That movie now because of how popular it is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like, and I agree with that, because I think like Tangled for me was great. I really liked Tangled.
Yeah, I like Tangled way more than
Princess and the Frog was great. I really liked Princess and the Frog. The music was great.
Black people have problems with Princess and the Frog.
Why is that? I don't know.
Well, if you notice, they finally did a movie with mainly black protagonists.
Yes.
But they were frogs for like the entire movie.
Okay.
Like, you understand?
Yep,
like, we finally got the movie, but actually we didn't get to see ourselves. We got to see frogs.
Yeah.
So that, like, I enjoyed that movie when I saw it, but as the older I've gotten, the more I've had disdain for that movie, because like, you actually didn't give us the black Disney movie. You gave us a frog movie.
Yeah.
And that, like, that's really frustrating.
Yeah.
But Disney 3D. Zootopia is by far my favorite. That, as I get older, the intricate stuff, the message and stuff, that movie was excellent. Like, that was Pixar level. If that was a Pixar movie, I think I would put that in like my top 10. If that was a Pixar movie, it's not, so it obviously can't be ranked with those. But I really enjoyed that. It was really well done. But dude, Disney 3D is kind of hit or miss to me. It's like, okay, so
way more than Pixar for sure.
Yeah, way more. Because, like, Moana is okay. A lot of the Disney 3D ones, one viewing, I think, is the best experience you're going to get of the movie when you're older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I will say Moana... like the animation quality kind of blew my mind of like the water in that movie.
Yeah.
Like that when I first saw it, that's what really took me aback. Less of the story and like that, but like that was like a huge leap in 3D animation when I saw like the sand texture, and like it's only gotten better, but that movie like blew my mind on like what could be done in like animation. It was crazy.
Yeah, you can with all the animation studios, their animation always gets better, and that's a good thing. Like, you know, even Cars 2 had better animation than Cars, but it was a horrible movie.
Horrible movie. Yeah.
But yeah, the Pixar's current animation is unreal to me. Like the stuff that they did on Toy Story 4 was like insane.
Yeah. Insane.
I haven't seen Luca yet, so I don't know how to. That one's kind of different stylistically.
I haven't either.
I don't know if it'll have that. I don't know if it'll have that amazement as far as the animation, because it's not really done in the same style.
Yeah.
Soul. The lighting in Soul was unreal.
I haven't seen Soul yet, which is a bummer.
You haven't seen?
I have not.
Yeah, that one's really good. I mean, it's pretty good. I put it on the same kind of level as Coco, and that it's odd to me that those movies share so many similarities.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a dead person that really likes music.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of odd that those are like the same movie.
Yeah.
But the animation was top notch in Soul. Like, the lighting was the best thing to me. The cities looked so realistic, even with cartoons walking around. Like, you know, none of the faces look realistic. They don't need to, obviously. You know, they look like 3D cartoons, but the world looked so good, and it worked so well.
Cool. Well, I definitely have wanted to see.
All day. I love Pixar.
Yeah, I've been really behind on Disney animation in general, including Pixar. Luca, Onward, Soul. I'm sure there's one or two more that I've missed as well that aren't insanely, big. So I gotta backtrack quite a bit on some Disney stuff. But I am excited. Soul, I've heard insanely good things about Soul, and I have not been more excited to see that movie. But again, for the most part, my viewing time has been spent watching TV shows of comic book nature.
Watching The Flash.
No, I'm off The Flash. That is no longer a thing.
Oh my god, I saw the clip of Bart's introduction,
I haven't seen
and that
it
was
yet.
the saddest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's not good. I will say, never mind. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
When the Flash and Power Rangers are comparable as far as acting ability.
Oh my god, acting is horrible.
That's when I lose interest.
Horrible. And
I enjoyed those first two seasons retroactively. I'm very iffy on the second season. I still think the first season is pretty decent for a superhero show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they've only just started to get really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like CW, when Arrow came out, that was like the best that had come out.
Yeah.
Like Smallville maybe,
Yeah.
But that was like the best. And then Daredevil came out and it was like, oh, okay, no, never mind.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, cool. Well, I think that's it, right? For screen time.
Yeah, I think we can talk about critiques and favorites.
Okay. Let's get into it.
So on Instagram, we have this hashtag called ShutterBugs_CC. If you haven't heard of it before, it seems like people haven't heard of it before because we have the same people using it. So please share the hashtag with your friends.
Please.
We would love to have more people to critique. We don't want it to seem like we're just like, oh yeah, we're just going to critique the same 5 people because we don't actually want to do the work. It's really just only the same 5 people. So, please recommend the hashtag, use it. Even if you think you're too good for critiques, maybe it'll be one of our favorites or something.
True.
Or even if you think that you're garbage, no one is actually as garbage as they think they are.
True.
That is what I've learned.
Very true.
You are not as bad as you think you are. Never.
Yep.
We are our own worst critics in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Everyone has a good photo that they can share. Maybe
exactly.
not Aiden, but everyone besides
here
Aiden.
We go. But so if you guys need to see it, yes, bottom left of this screen, look at it, memorize it, tag your photos. We will get to them. Share it with people. It's hashtag ShutterBugs_CC for our iTunes listeners, and for anyone watching on YouTube, you can literally look at it and type it into Instagram right now. There we go.
Yes. So please use it.
Exactly. All right, Alex, you are up. Got your photo. front center.
Yes, so this is by G Prime T. And I believe it used to be Toys.
I thought it was
T
too. Yeah,
on Instagram.
Yeah.
So this is a photo of what the heck was this guy's name again?
Vapor, I believe.
Yeah, Vapor Hoods or whatever from Mezco, and it's a shot of him smoking a cigarette, and I believe he's kind of walking in a city. There's a cat near him, and there's a whole lot of like smoke. I don't know if this is vape. I'm assuming that it's vape or something, a smoke machine, whatever. I actually really enjoy this pic. There's only really 2 tweaks that I would make.
Yeah.
Because other than that, I actually really like this. I would use less of the smoke, the vapor, or whatever, just a little bit less. I would still keep it thick because I think that kind of adds something to it. But I would just like to see a little bit more of the details in the background, like the bikes and the person in the background.
Yeah.
But if you didn't want to do that, then I would say remove the background pieces. Because honestly, if you just wanted it to be vapory, that's really the only issue with the vapor, is that there's stuff back there that I kind of want to be able to, make out more.
Yeah.
But if they aren't there, then I don't think that that's necessarily a problem. The only other thing that I would do would be to add just a yellow or an orange or some other colored light to break up the heavy kind of teal and blue, because the character is blue.
Yep.
So you kind of want to accent that a little bit more. To add more blue, it can kind of seem a little washed out. This isn't really that washed out. It's a decent balance, but I would kind of just add a yellow. That's really all you need, just to kind of make this pop a little bit more. But other than that, I really like this. The pose is very natural.
Yeah.
It looks very natural. Other than the fact that he's blue, I could see somebody walking down my street like this. The lighting is pretty good, outside of the color change that I would make. Even the cat. Normally cats like this can be a little bit distracting to me because they just kind of look so fake.
Yeah.
But it works here. And I like the expression. One thing a lot of people overlook in photos is getting proper emotion from the figures. Even in the static faces, neutral faces can sometimes give you the impression that they're thinking or that there's, something, they're looking at something or whatever. And this is a very good example of proper emotion. I just kind of get the idea that he's chilling. He's listening to music. He's, so I really enjoy this.
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything you said. For me, again, it's the most jarring thing is the fog / vapor amount, and how I think this is really nitpicky and hard to probably get right, but how strong you can see the vapor lines specifically of where it's blown. Yeah. If it was a little bit softer, just kind of a smog, kind of a really soft, you can't see the details of the vapor, just it's a little bit hazy, I think that would work really well for this scene. But that's also a really hard effect to pull off, especially practically. So I still think it looks really good the way it is here. Again, I like Alex said, I would maybe even substitute this sunny rim light with an orangish rim light or something to more pop against this bluish greenish kind of hue that's going on down here. And then I'm curious what's going on with this wheel here, the bottom right by the cat, because it almost seems like an exposure trick. Because I don't know, it's hard to see with the focus being on vapor here, but it's hard to see if this is a bike or if this bike is coming in. Do you know what's going on, Alex, with this bike here?
It looks like a motorcycle. If you look up at the top, you can see the handlebars and stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think maybe, but then okay, so it's the back of a motorcycle.
No, I think it's the front, because if you zoom in, you can kind of see the headlight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Go up from the wheel and stuff. So, to me, it's either.
Oh wait! Oh yeah. There's the handlebars. There's the light. Yeah, it's just this black shape was kind of hiding it. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So to me, you either thin the smoke or remove the details, because I don't think it's the fact that they're there that we kind of want to see them.
Yeah, for sure. But again, very fantastic. I like the really highly lit sky back here against the city. I think even though with that being super blurred out, I think it looks really good.
And if that was warm, that would be cool too.
For sure. I think you could easily do a post almost apocalyptic futuresque red skies type of thing here to get some color, or you could just stick with this but then hit it with a different colored light to really kind of change the the vibe here and make it look cool. So, good work.
Yeah, very minimal changes.
Yep, exactly.
I think this is pretty good.
Cool. All right. Well, my critique is by Mojo Reviews. Mojo.
You did it again.
I did it again.
How do you keep doing it?
I don't know. I see it as like e-views and then Mojor.
E-views?
I don't know. Like major, but Mojo. I don't know. So it's Mojo Reviews.
E-views. It's terrible.
Mojo Reviews. This is of Thor pulling a kind of similar gone for the head / chest thing he did in Infinity War. So for me, the thing that pops out here, first of all, I think this is photoshopped, the lighting on the lightning, or like Lightroom to make it look a little brighter. I actually think it looks pretty good. I think it'd probably be pretty hard to get that tangibly, so I think that's pretty good. The one thing for me that is a little odd that I would change right away is the blood. It's like the hammer is stopping before it hits Darkseid, and there's blood underneath. It would make sense if he was like pulling the hammer away. Then sure, blood would be like splurting out of Darkseid, like coming away from the hammer. But because he's still almost like pushing in, I would rather have it where the hammer is touching Darkseid, going into him somehow, and the blood is either in the foreground or you have it like around the axe in different clumps to show that it actually hit him and then the blood is coming out. So that's one of the main things. I don't think Thor's pose is terrible. I think it works for what you're trying to go for. Maybe a little bit more exaggeration would really work. The same with Darkseid. I think partially it's the head sculpt, but partially it's the way he's posed. I think you could kind of sell that impact a little bit more. And then the backdrop, I think this is a monitor because the way it's kind of reflecting light a little bit. So I think if you up the brightness of the monitor and got some other lights in the foreground to help sell that this is actually where this is taking place, because it seems like you're hitting the lightning. You were so focused on practically lighting the lightning that you missed out on getting like that daytime lighting for what looks like Titan is what this planet's supposed to be. Similarly, at least to that environment, that you didn't hit the figures with any orangish, purplish light to match the backdrop, which is most important when using a backdrop, is blending that. And so I think using those lights to help sell that's where they are would also help the whole environment here. Definitely has the makings of a really cool photo. I think just some tweaks could really help sell the environment and what's going on.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. And I to me, the biggest thing is the axe position and the blood. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. Because if you just have it on his shoulder and then just kind of put blood somewhere, then we kind of see it a little bit better. It kind of looks like he's, stabbing the biggest pimple in the world that was on Darkseid's shoulder. Oh my God. But other than that, yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said. There's not a whole lot of things I would change other than what you said, the monitor, some parts of the lighting and stuff like that. But really the biggest thing is the axe. You just want that kind of... Unless if he's supposed to be pulling it away, then I would use an open hand and kind of bring him farther away from the from Stormbreaker. And to me, you don't necessarily need the lightning. I wouldn't say you need it. But it's cool, and I don't think it really disrupts anything. But I agree with everything you said, Aiden.
Awesome, cool. Now we'll get into favorites. Alex, you can go first.
Yeah, so this is by Shooting the Galaxy on Instagram, arguably the Star Wars god. I don't know who does Star Wars better than him. No one, probably.
Yeah.
And this is a shot of Luke's hologram in Jabba the Hutt's, what is it, palace?
Yeah, Jabba's palace. Yeah.
Yeah, and, dude, this lighting is, it looks precisely like it did in Return of the Jedi. Like, I don't know how he did that. I don't know what type of edits, what type of lights. It looks precisely the same. The set looks great. The hologram edit looks really good. Just everything about the lighting sells it to me. Yeah. And the haze. Jabba's palace was very hazy looking in the beginning of Return of the Jedi. It looked like they was smoking dank weed the entire time they were in there. But it it looks precisely like the movie, and I think that's why I really enjoy it. And no pose is wrong. No figure looks misplaced. Everything just looks realistically Star Wars to me, and I find that so fascinating.
Yeah, I echo everything you said. I think for me, one of the things that just highlights Matthew Cohen's ability here is the floor grate. This
Yeah.
is a two-dimensional floor grate. I mean, this is literally, there's nothing underneath. It's an image of a Rancor you can even see popping up, and you don't notice that. And people who use extreme sets and try to make it look like depth, sometimes, it's very hard to do. I know, I struggled with it as well. And this is quite literally a completely flat floor, just a picture. But somehow when you're looking at Luke, like, you see it feels like there's depth on that grate. And so just him able to sell that's really cool. The angle, again, the lighting is really what sells this here and what is amazing. It's really cool. I don't know if this is the image or literally his lighting, but this like bright blue that's hitting the floor grate here looks like an over-the-top light that's like in Jabba's palace from the movie, and it's like backlighting C-3PO a bit. And
if he did that with his lights himself, then like that's just ridiculous. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because light hitting those 2D backdrops is the most annoying thing ever.
Yep.
So I don't even if that's his lighting, then I don't know, like, what is he on?
And the thing is too is even if it's not his lighting, that was expert level blending by him to make that print look like it's actually like a light source in the photo lighting up C-3PO and everything around it. So even if he didn't create that with his own lights, he mimics it to where it looks realistic. And if if he didn't do that, then it would just be like a weird light blue spot on the floor with no real source lighting in the scene that you see. So I think that really helps sell the environment even more. So again, top-notch work by Shooting the Galaxy, as always, and just amazing lighting here and staging and everything else.
Absolutely. You want to get into yours?
Yeah. So mine, this took the Grind group in Facebook. This took the banner as this is how I saw it, and this is one of my favorite photos that Megatron has ever done. Probably my favorite, actually, he has ever done. And so this is a photo of Michael Myers killing someone in like a field kind of ish, like outdoor area. The depth here alone is outstanding. I mean, literally next level. You have them in the foreground. Michael's about to slay him. You have the perfect composition of the bright moon. That is a backdrop, not a monitor. So the fact that he was able to light that so realistically and like get that really bright light that perfectly kind of like accents and backlights Michael Myers is amazing. The cloud in front of it on that backdrop is amazing. The windmill in the back, perfect use of kind of a more smaller scale model of something, but putting it in the background to make it look far away. Amazing work there. The brush and shrubbery work is superb. Really helps sell the depth of the environment, how far back this little kind of foresty meadow field goes. The bark and kind of dirt and like debris up in the front that they're laying on looks great. There's not too big of pieces to where it's out of scale, but it has bigger pieces, so it kind of looks like it's like bigger bark. The sky, perfectly well lit. I mean, it's got like the black and darker gray aspect, so it looks really realistic to the night sky. I mean, this figure is top notch. And I will say something I'm just noticing that he did was hit it with a backlight, Michael Myers, probably a lume cube or some sort of like smaller light that hits like his kind of waist section here that I didn't notice. So it also looks like the moon is really shining on these guys. So this is top-notch photography work right here. I love this.
Yeah, it's this set is like one of my dream sets. Like this is excellent. This is excellent. Like, if you were to nitpick anything, it would be that I didn't take this. That would be that I didn't take this and get to post it myself. That would be my nitpick. Like, it's so good, dude. It is really, really well done. The depth is insane.
Yeah.
Like, it works so well. Like, if I were him, I would have taken like 50 pictures on this set alone.
Sure.
Like, I would have found a way to like get as much out of this as possible. Like, everything works so well. The lighting is so good. That using the ash head, perfect. Just it's so good, bro. That moon is crazy good.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, I think that basically concludes our section. Again, shout out to the artists that were featured in our critique section and our favorite section. section. You guys are awesome. If you want to get featured on our show as well, please, for the love of all things, please use our hashtag #ShutterBugs_CC. We would love to see your guys' work.
Bro, people are already recreating one of the scenes from the What If trailer.
Oh my!
How are people this quick?
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. And I haven't seen the What If trailer yet, so I definitely gotta step it up and watch it. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Before we get into plugs, we just want to say that it's awesome. We're very sad that Michael Cera couldn't join us today.
No, Michael.
It's a sad day when he's not here. So hopefully Finn will be back sometime next week, or we will record.
I want Michael, bro.
Oh, Alex. But yeah, so hopefully he'll be back sometime next week. He is very sad he couldn't make it. Very busy. But it was a good show. Thank you guys for watching. We're slowly coming up on...
I'm going to go on this podcast, and it's going to be me, Michael Cera, and Jim Carrey.
Oh, my God. In your dreams, I swear. I swear. This guy kills me.
I will make it happen. One day I will make it happen.
Hey, I will say one thing. Hopefully next week, I don't know if it'll come by the time we record, but praying to everyone that Alex is about to receive the thing of a lifetime that will completely change the game for him.
Yes, an entire shipment of cocaine.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's not cocaine.
I know what you're talking about. We'll hopefully we'll be able to talk about it.
I would be blown away if it comes by next episode. I would be so excited. Like, unbelievably excited.
You think you'd be excited. I will probably die.
Oh, that'd be great. So, plugs. Alex, what do you got going on?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Alex M. Richardson. I post photos on there whenever I take them. I don't know why that sounded so awkward. You can follow the ShutterBugs Instagram. I don't know if you said that, Aiden, or not.
No, I did not.
At ShutterBugs Podcast on Instagram. We'll be reposting our critiques and our favorites on there for the iTunes listeners to see. And you can also unfollow at A1.
I'm literally going to mute you next time you say that. I was waiting for it. I'm just going to mute you so no one hears it. Right.
Block him, report him as some sort of internet creeper.
This guy.
And also unfollow Finn Aiden. Follow Michael Cera if he has Instagram.
You can do that. I back that. It's a good one. Cool. Well, you can follow me on Instagram. Don't listen to a word Alex says. A1_Groundwalker. Nope. I'm almost at 1,000 followers. That's great. Just finished my custom, which you can see.
Get him to 0 followers. Get him to 0 followers today.
Oh God, this guy. But yeah, so I'm back on taking photos. That's a thing. YouTube video will be coming out this week on the custom. Basically step by step on kind of my process of
dislike all his YouTube videos.
This guy. Oh my God. Relentless. But yeah, so that's what I've got going on is Instagram and YouTube. You can check out our stuff there. And then like Alex said, please, ShutterBugs is on iTunes. So if you want, you can find it there. If it's easier for you to listen, leave a review. We always appreciate that. And then our Instagram, ShutterBugs Podcast, where we will be announcing some certain stuff coming in the future. And then we are obviously every week posting our favorites and critiques on there for you iTunes listeners and just to feature the artists who do incredible work every week. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's been fun.
Wait, is there anything else in the chat?
No. It's just Brian was saying how Matthew Cohn's his favorite Star Wars photographer. That was the main thing that's
okay, just making sure, because Brian always getting on me for not checking on the chat.
Hey, I've checked on this whole episode. I think we did pretty good. Good job. But thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
See you guys later.